For the first time since season 1, the Florida Panthers are back in the Stanley Cup final. We fell short with that Sergei Bobrovsky-led team, but now we're back. As it was called in the comments section of the last episode, the Gerard Gallant Bowl is ready to begin. The Golden Knights and the Panthers going head-to-head for the right to call themselves champions. Now, is this going to be the last episode of this series? Potentially, as I talk about at the beginning of today's Russian episode as well. Obviously, the real-life NHL trade deadline has just passed, which means obviously there's a lot of excitement over, seeing the new rosters in action. Not just from you guys, but from myself as well. So this could very well be the end, despite it not being the longest series in the world. I mean, we're only into 2025. Normally we make it into the 2030s with every series. But, if we were to win today, that would be a damn good place to end it. If we were to lose, obviously there would be some desire to continue, considering our top 6 is still intact. The team, for the most part, is still going to be, set up pretty well. Lowe, Sparks, and Tila. We have some solid prospects as well. I'm not sure. It's always tough. I said this in the Russian episode as well, but it's always tough to end a series, before the 25 years where you're literally told, hey, you can't go any further, because there's always more story to be told. But the bottom line is we look at this team now, and if this team can't win the cup, then I don't know if we're ever winning the cup. Jonathan Huberdeau has been phenomenal. Sasha Barkov has been phenomenal. Owen Tippett has been good. Not great, but good. Alexei Heponiemi has been closer to great. 14 points compared. Tippett's on a harsher scale. 2 more games played, and you're also on the top line. Borgstrom with 13 points, fairly happy with that. And just 11 points for Denisenko, which is pretty surprising. The third line, Dryden Hunt, has been spectacular. Vincent Trocheck, who, that's a bit awkward. This was going to be his final season here anyway. And of course, in real life, he was just traded to the Carolina Hurricanes. But 12 points in 16 games is great. Logan Hutsko has been tremendous. That fourth line, they've left a bit to be desired. They really, really haven't been great. Which almost raises the question of, call-ups or send-downs. Because they really haven't been good. And our coach does have a roll 4 lines option. And when they've been struggling as much as they have been defensively, it really does raise the question over, okay, is this the right move to keep them, in the lineup? Because we could very well switch to having Maroon, Marotti, and Wheeler. I think John Hayden is going to be the odd man out. Actually, he can take face-offs, but Cooper Marotti has an 85 face-off rating. Boy, that's the one thing I'm tempted to do, is to make that change, because I'm really unhappy with how that fourth line has produced this year. But then again, the argument is we've made it to the Cup final, don't change anything. And I think that's what we're going to look at for now, is, hey, don't change anything. But if they continue to struggle, changes will have to be made. Defensively, Sergachev and Ekblad have been phenomenal. Morrow and Kessler, okay. Smirnoff and Connolly, okay. Again, that young defense wasn't exactly the plan to have them, step into this large of a role this early on, but it's worked out. And then Spencer Knight, only a 9-14. Gotta be honest, he's got to be better, or there's a good chance that we're going to fall short. But we have been in cup-winning mode now for a while. It's time for this core amongst the top 6 to put up or shut up and get the job done. Let's take a look at what we're up against. This Vegas Golden Knights team. Hello, this could be rough. Wow. We start off with Alex Tuch, who has been tremendous this postseason. Cody Glass, who has been phenomenal this postseason. And Riley Smith, who has been very, very good with 15 points in 17 games. The second line, and of course the thing to note, with Tuch is, hey, he's a third liner, so it's a morale thing right now. With second line, we have Peyton Krebs, Ivan Morozov, and Mark Stone, who has been a little bit quiet, but he's also missed some playing time. Third line of Nick Ritchie, the newest Boston Bruin, William Karlsson, and Ty Smilanic, I believe it is. I think it's Smilanic. I think that'd be an itch, though. I think it'd be an itch. Regardless, fourth line, Jake Leschyshyn, Ben Jones, and Alex Volkov. Familiar, of course, in the Russian series. The defense, Nick Hague, rebuilding Hockey Town legend, and Dougie Hamilton, Shea Theodore and Nate Schmidt, Calvin DeHaan, and Victor Soderstrom. It's a good team. The goaltender is Joseph Woll. The Wall. Leafs goaltender, of course, in real life. An elite goalie with a .923 save percentage for Mr. Woll, as Nichushkin, Van de Sample, and Wah are the healthy scratches. So, how do we feel now after looking, what we're up against? To be honest, for me, I don't know how I feel. Again, we won our division this year, third best team in the league. Vegas were outside the top 10. They were 12th in the league. Taking a look, though, at how the teams have performed this postseason. Let's see what we have here. So, we've played one extra game. Our goals for is at a 3.78. Theirs is at a 3.12. Or at least our goal is 4. So, we have the better offense, but they've had the better defense thus far. Their power play is a little bit better. And both penalty kills are struggling. So, special teams could easily be a factor. Both teams better on the road than at home. If Spencer Knight can find his game, we're going to be okay. But that's a pretty big if. That's a very big if. As the offense is even out, their defense has a higher rating, which does not surprise me. Cody Glass registering as their top player. Our captain, Sasha Barkov, has that honor. This could be it. Odds are it's going to be the finale of this series outside of the Channel Hall of Fame. Damn. I just want to win with this team. And again, the debate of if we kept going, if we were to fail here, maybe we would get back. That's certainly possible, but maybe we wouldn't. The defense is going to get better. The bottom six, though, there'll be some changes. I don't know. It's tough to say. But like I said, obviously the intrigue from the deadline is there. Wanting to see all the new rosters in action after all the changes. We'll see what happens. At the end of the day, though, we could very well win right here and right now. And it could be the perfect place, the perfect time to say we're done here and walk away. The Stanley Cup Final. Panthers and Golden Knights. Let's do this. What version of our team is going to show up today? First period of game 1. And a strong start for the Cats. Noel Acciari, Grigory Denisenko, and Aaron Ekblad. 3 goals against Joe Woll. 17 shots to 6. And as dominant of a first period as I can remember seeing in a Stanley Cup final game. Tremendous effort from the team. We do have a long way to go, but that's a great start. Second period, and we add to the lead. Dryden Hunt on the power play. Morrow adds another one. Smilanic gets one back. It is 5-1 heading into the third period of game 1. More than doubling them up in shots. Easy for me to say. What a start to this game. What a start to this series, this episode. For the Panthers, a power play chance goes to waste, but this one is over and done with. The Panthers are going to take game one, potentially still by a 5-0 score, as a very quiet third period comes to an end. 37 shots to 26, 5-1. Your final score. Fair play to Spencer Knight. If we get that type of performance, we're certainly good to go. Denisenko has a really strong game. The second line in general and the third line as well. Again, great everyone. I mean, the vast majority of players on our team had at least a point in that game. And then again, 5 players walking away with that +2 rating. And again, Spencer Knight. Tremendous. Only 1 goal allowed in that game. What a start. As the Panthers are now just 3 wins away. 3 wins away. So close. So close. We were so close in Season 1. Let's see what happens here in Game 2. We're going to keep the team the same, even the fourth line. Nolachari scored in the last game. Let's see what happens. First period, and a much better start for the Golden Knights. Jake Leschyshyn scores the only goal of the opening 20 minutes. 13 shots to 11 in their favor. That's all right. We have time to get back into the second period, and we do, but not before Calvin DeHaan scores. Logan Hutsko scores with 10 seconds left on Linus Ullmark, by the way, who, yes, did have a good save percentage in his one appearance, as we saw. But still, if we can't score goals on Linus Ullmark, then, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. So grab his blanket, put Linus to bed. Let's do this. This offense needs to show up. Ben Jones scores. Hutsko gets it right back, though. Come on, guys, please. Barkov, Huberdeau, Tippett, Juracek, Denisenko, Borgstrom, Heponiemi, Hunt. Somebody, please. Power play for Vegas goes to waste. Come on, you have to find the tying goal. It's Ullmark. Oh, my God. Riley Smith is going to ice this game. Nick Ritchie, Spencer Knight just falls apart. Just falls apart. That is a disastrous second game for us, as a massive opportunity slips away from us. I mean, we can't take advantage of Linus Ullmark? Really? Really? And then Spencer Knight, like I said, just falls apart. Maybe that was a change in aggressiveness, but that's brutal. That is brutal. And yeah, there you go. Tippett, Barkov, Huberdeau. Our top players let us down. Our top players let us down. I mean, it's early in this series. Spencer Knight was brutal. It's early in this series, but that simply can't happen. Not in the Cup final. We cannot have our top line completely disappear on us. So, the first 2 games of this series are split. The winning team scored 5 goals in each of the 2 games thus far. We're going to see what happens in Game 3 before we contemplate any changes, so let's do this. We're in Vegas. Credit to them. I still, again, I know that there are some teams already, some fan bases that can't stand the Golden Knights, but I still give them credit. I love the medieval time intros, especially when they were in the final against Washington. It was sick. Don't at me. But right now I'm going to, clothesline the head off of that knight who, puts the sword in the middle of the ice. Anyway, first period of Game 3. Okay, Spencer, we're not losing. But Spencer Knight can't make a save all of a sudden. Smilanic scores, Schwint ties it, Glass scores, Trocheck ties it. We've battled back from a goal down twice already. Vinny Trocheck's power play goal, the difference maker thus far. They doubled us up in shots, though, so yeah, we're lucky to be here. Second period is scoreless, 27 shots to 23. Jesus, so that was a dominant second period in which we could not find the back of the net, which is not great. We kill off a Vegas power play. Oh, boy. Come on. Under 12 minutes left. Smilanic scores again. Jesus. Guys, come on. Please. You gotta wake up. Kessler scores. I think that's his first ever postseason goal. We're tied at 3. Both teams approaching 40 shots. Are we going to overtime? Yes, we are. Overtime in Game 3. You know, I think I'm going to save the jumping in for overtimes for elimination games. We're going to see who wins this. And the only reason I say that is because I don't have confidence that this team's going to win if we jump in. Oh, we're jumping in. This is it. This is likely the damn series finale. We're jumping in. We're doing it. Alright, guys, come on. We need this. We want this. We need this. We like this. We love this. We want this. We need this. We like it. We love it. We want some more of it. Nashville. Nashville. Let's do this. Here we go. It is, I don't want to say a must-win situation, but losing 2 straight games would prove to be fairly devastating. Here we go. Barkov wins the draw. Come on, guys. We can do this. Barkov. Back to Ekblad. And Barkov in front. Huge save by Wall. And he'll make the cover. Good opening chance for Sasha Barkov, who is tied for the postseason lead in points alongside Cody Glass, as they'll duel on the face-offs yet again. Hopefully Barkov can get the better of him, and he does. Sergachev, Ekblad, D-to-D passes. Huberdeau has it. Tries to go to Barkov, turns it over. Tuck comes up with it. Now Riley Smith. Over the line, he'll dump it in. Ekblad battles for it. Vegas in possession! That one just went high side blocker. Or blocker side high. Call it what you will. I'm a little bit stressed because we need to win. Barkov, Sergachev deflects. Huberdeau, tip it. Looking for that gigantic shot. He couldn't find it. Vegas back in the zone. Opportunity around the back of the net. Hamilton just misses. Riley Smith in possession. The captain now of this Golden Knights team. Still battling. We're going to come up with it. Sergachev finds Huberdeau, who's tripped. We're going to the power play. Grigory Denisenko with speed into the corner. Back to the point. Heponiemi bombs it wide. We go to the power play. Peyton Krebs to the box. Hunt, Trocheck, Hutsko are out there. Heponiemi in that right D spot. Trocheck can't win the draw. Nate Schmidt's able to clear. So rough start to this power play. Denisenko also out there on defense. No natural defenseman here. Logan Hutsko doesn't shoot. One-timer deflected. The AI logic of Logan Hutsko not shooting there is absolutely brutal. Trocheck and Carlson on the draw. Vinny, we need a win here. And we get it. Denisenko. Hunt. Slap shot just wide. Hutsko tries to go in front. Trocheck has it again. Hutsko cross crease to Hunt. Oh my god. One-timer. Club save by Wall. Oh man. The offensive flow that we have right now, especially on the power play, is tremendous, but Joseph Wall not having it. Trocheck loses a draw. Haig's able to clear. That is brutal. I just realized too, we're in real time, so it's going to be a long power play. Logan Hutsko over the line. Trocheck slap shot deflects, goes wide of the net. Hunt wins it back on the half wall. Hutsko can't get the shot off. Hunt. Denisenko shot on. Trocheck can't bury it. Logan Hutsko again. Trocheck. Hunt. Ridiculous passing. Denisenko's bomb. Saved by Wall. Hutsko. Denisenko. Oh my god. Another save. Unbelievable effort from Joseph Wall. Just over 40 seconds left here. Henrik Borgstrom fresh off the bench. Toe drags. Maintains possession. The bomb. Saved by Wall. Borgstrom backhand on net from Tippett. Joseph Wall is making some spectacular stops. We need a win here from Barkov. And we get it. Sergachev one-timer, kick save by Woll. Shea Theodore is able to clear, and it goes all the way down. 25 left on the power play. Sergachev now for Barkov. The captain. Sergachev. Huber, no! Huber wide. I don't know what that even means. Sergachev. Borgstrom. Joe Woll makes another save. 8 seconds remain on the power play. I cannot believe we haven't found the back of the net. Trocheck against Ben Jones. Trocheck wins it. Heponiemi. Hutsko right into the glove of Joe Woll. I told you, like, I had a bad feeling that we might not be able to find the back of the net here if I were to jump in. So far, that's proving to be accurate. Trocheck wins the draw. Heponiemi. Denisenko. It deflects wide. We're back to even strength. Trocheck gets hooked. We're going right back to the power play. Boys, this has to do it. This has to do it. We're right back to the power play. Off of that hooking call. This has to be it. We're 1 for 3 on the power play. Theodore can't clear. Hunt, big step up here from Denisenko. Denisenko can't pull the trigger. Schmidt at least gets it out of the zone with the no-look pass as we'll dump and chase on the power play. Theodore gets it to Morozov. He's able to clear. And that is a rough opening 20 seconds. Vinny Trocheck over the line. Throws it in front. Morozov intercepts. He will clear. Let's get that second unit off because they have been awful. Here's some nice logic from Heponiemi. Finally gets it out. Owen Tippett for Borgstrom. Spamming Deeks. Over. Theodore's there. Theodore's hooked by Borgstrom. One of the worst power plays I have ever seen. Legitimately ever. That was horrific. There is no other way to describe that. That was one of the worst power plays I have ever seen. Jonathan Huberdeau turns it over, and you can't help but feel as Huberdeau kills a man, and that's going to be a penalty as well. You can't help but feel like we're going to lose now, right? Cody Glass, Soderstrom, saved by Knight. We go from the power play to being down 4-on-3 off of a charging call. It just gets worse. It just gets worse. Jace Howerluck takes the draw. Loses it. Morozov, Tuck, big save by Knight. That into the bench. Nearly another call. Can't help but think that Joseph Woll just stole this game for his team. Morrow can't clear. Achari is able to. 4.5 minutes gone in this first overtime, and it's been a ridiculous start. William Karlsson loses it to Achari. Still battling. Karlsson back in possession. Morozov slap shot goes well wide. And Achari is able to clear. Trying to get some fresh legs out there. William Karlsson. Alex Tuck now back again. Karlsson to Morozov. Karlsson saved by Knight. Brutal rebound. Sergachev was there. Karlsson for Smith. Knight! Awful rebound! And we will certainly be looking at Spencer Knight's rebound control rating, because Jesus Christmas, could he not control a rebound in that game? The Vegas Golden Knights win at home. Joe Woll saves the day. And we'll try to pretend as if that game never happened. Because my God, was that horrific. I mean, nothing. Nothing. Like, just, oh my God. All right. The Golden Knights have a 2-1 series lead as we head into Game 4. And am I ready to hit the panic button? I gotta be honest, I'm kind of tempted. I'm kind of tempted. I can't help but be, as that fourth line hasn't necessarily been anywhere. There's really just nothing I can do. It's just don't suck. Spencer Knight, stop a puck maybe. You know, you're as highly rated as Joe Woll. Why can't you stop a puck? Why? That's right, we're going to look at Knight's rebound control. Why must you be terrible? I say. Spencer Knight's rebound control is an 86. I want to go see what Joe Woll's is really quickly. I can't help it. I want to see what Joe Woll's rebound control is. Why not? Why not? Just for the fun of it. What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? No, it's going to be fine. He's at an 88. So that 2-point difference is clearly what just cost us that game. We're going to jump into game 4. And, if we lose this, we're screwed. We're screwed. First period of game 4. We do get the opening goal, Denisenko on the power play, despite us being outshot. Second period, we're up 2-1. Dryden Hunt scores. Peyton Krebs gets it back. We go to the third. Can we please overcome that brutal overtime loss, please, to tie this series up? Power play for Vegas. They're unable to capitalize. I still can't believe the Borgstrom and Huberdeau penalties. Absolute idiots, but we move on. We're halfway through the third here in game 4. Power play for the Panthers goes to waste. I'm scared. Under 5 for Dougie Hamilton ties it. Are you kidding me? We're going to overtime for the second game in a row. Well, we're certainly not jumping in this time unless elimination's a factor. We go to OT again. Let's see who wins it, shall we? If the Knights do, we're screwed. Otherwise, this series will be tied at 2 games apiece. Who is going to win in overtime? Vegas has a power play chance go to waste. As we approach the halfway point of overtime 1, could be the first of 2. You never go to a third. Under 5 minutes left, are we destined for double overtime? The answer is yes. Lovely. How fun. 46 shots to 32, tied at 2 on the board, double overtime. You know how this works. Don't blink. You might miss it. It will end within 3 to 5 seconds nearly every single time. Will the Knights have a 3-1 lead, or will we tie the series up at 2 apiece? The answer is 2 apiece. Alexei Heponiemi scores on the power play, and we live to see another day. Spencer Knight with a strong efforts, and we get to breathe. After a very disappointing game 3, we get to breathe. We get to regroup, because this series is now essentially a best of 3 with us having home ice advantage, which might not mean much. I mean, both teams, split the first 2 games on their home ice. Now, here's the thing, and here's where we might lose this. I might shake things up a little bit. And the reason is we're allowing a ton of shots. A ton. Now, Achari scored. Howard, the plus minus has improved. But I don't know. God, I want to shake things up because the team's getting killed in terms of shots. And that's not just on the defense, It's not just on defense. Although that third pairing between Smirnoff and Connolly is not doing well. And the only other option is the likes of Stillman, Alos, Gilden, which is kind of a tough call. I almost feel like we have to make a change, though. And maybe it is just that change in defense. Maybe it is, because those forward lines are still, there's no one who necessarily deserves to be scratched. I think we're going to make a change. I think we're going to call up Gilden and Stillman, and we're going to shake things up just a little bit on that back end, and hopefully we'll stop, hemorrhaging offensive chances and shots, because that's all we've been doing is giving up, an absurd amount of shots. So Gilden is in, Stillman is in, and we're going to split up this second pairing, which hasn't been overly impressive anyway. And just to take a look here, who is the best skater of the bunch? It's Kessler. We're going to put Kessler with Gilden, Stillman with Morrow. And that's going to be the setup. It's a big risk, I know. And this could be where trusting those younger defensemen come back to haunt me. That decision comes back to haunt me. But for now, we're going to wait and see what happens. A very, very important fifth game of the Stanley Cup Final and what is probably the finale of this series. Oh, boy. And you think back to everything, the Bobrovsky saga, sticking with the core of this team, one year being like, hey, let's get Brendan Gallagher, and that didn't work. But we finally get to this point where this team's about as good as they're going to get. And now it's just a matter of whether or not we can win. Game 5, home ice. Here we go. First period, 1 goal apiece. Borgstrom and Morozov on the power play. We had the big shot advantage in that one, 16 shots to 7. But the power play goal from Morozov is the difference maker. Second period, we have the lead. Logan Hutsko again. 31 shots to 16, nearly having them doubled up. We do have them doubled up on the board. We go to the third in what might as well be a must-win game, Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final against Vegas. I would love another goal from us right now. Please. Owen Tippett, you've been so damn quiet. Can you score? Huberdeau, Barkov, somebody, please. For the love of all that is good, Owen Tippett. Smolanic gets it back. We survive. We survive. We did. We survived. Owen Tippett, the empty netter. Smolanic gets it back, but it was too little too late. The Florida Panthers, despite a tremendous effort from Joe Woll, are 1 win away from winning the Stanley Cup. 2 opportunities to get the job done. We are that close. We are that close. The change in defense seemingly worked, or maybe it was a fluke, but regardless, we didn't surrender as many shots. We controlled the run of play, and it paid off. We're back in Vegas for Game 6. No lineup changes necessary after the win. Has it all come down to this? We make certain moves at a certain time. The decision to hold on to Vinny Trocheck, unlike when we got rid of Mackenzie Weegar or Michael Matheson. All the changes to the team and all of the loyalty amongst the top 6. It's led us to this. Game 6. Is this the time? Or will the Golden Knights force Game 7 back in Sunrise? Let's find out. First period advantage to the Cats. Cole Schwindt. That was the loudest accidental whistle I think I've ever heard in my life. You ever hurt your own ears from accidentally whistling? Schwindt. Schwindt. Oh my God. Whew. Oh, tinnitus. Welcome. We're up 1-0. It's good stuff. Jesus. Second period. Oh my God. Vincent Trocheck, Grigory Denisenko, Max Gilden, and Denisenko again. The Florida Panthers are 20 minutes away from winning the Stanley Cup. Oh my God, what a second period. 30 shots to 14 heading into the third. And this is all but over. We talked about it. As Morozov ruins the shutout, Hutsko gets it right back. We talked about it from the start. What would the situation be with the likes of Sergei Bobrovsky? And if we made that call to hold on to him and just to see how that would go, which we did. And the answer is that it went horribly, horribly wrong. It never really worked out. The closest it came to working out was in season 1. From there, it was all downhill. But then a great thing happened because I said, no, I'm not going to trade him. I'm a sucker for punishment. We're going to hold on to him. And as a result of that, things just kind of worked out because he retired early. We didn't have to buy him out. Spencer Knight developed. He hasn't had the best postseason run a goalie's ever seen, but it's been good enough. The defense, again, we see Keith Yandle on this team up until his retirement, but it works out. As Spencer Knight covers this one, it works out. Yandle retires, we lose Weegar, we lose Matheson. Certain, defensive prospects don't develop as the Golden Knights get to see the Stanley Cup raised on their home ice for a second time. That's tremendous, unless you're a Knights fan. But it works out in that way as the defense finds a way. Whether it be adding Gilden and Stillman, but certainly the addition of Mikhail Sergachev on an offer sheet is going to go down as the reason why things went so well for us in this series, because you lose a defenseman like Yandle, but have a Sergachev to take over to play alongside Ekblad, good things are going to happen. And then, as mentioned, from the moment this series began, we kind of knew, and Tippett, Jesus, we kind of knew that when it came to building this team, it was going to be building from within. With Hutsko, Heponiemi, Borgstrom, Tippett, Denisenko, it was just a matter of seeing if this team could take that step forward and actually win. I mean, again, Hauerluck, in real life, he's off the team now. Saron Noel, who's a healthy scratch, but still, he was a part of getting the team here. We trusted the youth. Big glove save by Knight. We trusted the youth. We stuck with the plan. And that plan is 11.2 away from coming to fruition and from seeing us raise the Stanley Cup as Cody Glass will go to the box. Hunt, Trocheck, and Hutsko will see this game out. We'll see this series out as Ben Jones will carry it down over the blue line. Back to Schmidt, saved by Knight. The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup. And all of their fans, Deej, and Deej again. It's happened. We pull it off on the road. Not as if, look at Owen Tippett. Not as if the sound design's any better at home than it is on the road. At least the silence will make more sense, but it happened. I didn't think that it would. It didn't seem like it would. It just seemed like, yeah, no, this is going to be the type of team that just fails over and over again. Until they didn't. As the captain, Sasha Barkov, leads the way through the handshake line. Spencer Knight gets the job done between the pipes. And the Cats have been crowned champions for the very first time as the captain wins the Conn Smythe. Those stats are obviously not correct. That's been a glitch through the game. I don't see them fixing this year, but there you go. Sasha Barkov wins the Conn Smythe, and he'll be back up there in a second to help raise the Stanley Cup. Or at least to raise the Stanley Cup. I don't think he needs help. I think he can do it all on his own. The difference, perhaps, the change in head coach. We, if I'm not mistaken, essentially brought on Bruce Cassidy, who again left Boston at the end of year one, went to Buffalo, won a cup or two, and then comes down to Florida and continues his Atlantic Division dominance. Sasha Barkov has won it. Leads the way. Who's that getting the cup second? It is Noel Acciari. You love to see it. You love to see it. Somehow doesn't have a game face yet, but Noel Acciari hands it off to Logan Hutsko, which is very accurate with his generic player face. But there you go, Logan Hutsko. Unbelievable player. For some reason, just one of those created players who just seem to dominate for us. As the Vegas crowd cannot believe it, they're having to watch the celebration for a second time. But it's a phenomenal day for us, as Spencer Knight will raise the Stanley Cup. We knew he was the guy, or at least we had to hope he was the guy, if Sergei Bobrovsky could not be. And ultimately that's how it played out. Aaron Ekblad, Jonathan Huberdeau and company. Look at Huberdeau with that beard in the front, Ekblad with his beard in the back left. It's a phenomenal thing. The Florida Panthers have done it. We have won the Stanley Cup, beating the Vegas Golden Knights in 6 games. Spencer Knight steps up and gets it done. 42 shots for the Cats, and a championship to show for it. Like I said, in terms of a series, you know, we knew when we picked this team, it wasn't going to be the biggest rags to riches story in the world. It was just a matter of, can we take this team that's on the precipice of potentially winning, and can we actually win with them? And the answer was yes. Yes, indeed. As Sasha Barkov was a point per game, Hutsko was phenomenal, Heponiemi, Huberdeau, and Dryden Hunt, who we were considering taking out at one point after a very meh regular season, put up 20 points in 24 games on that third line. And apparently only one of those points were on the power play, which that's just not right. Those power play stats clearly have to be glitched. Vinny Trocheck was great in what was going to be his final season here. Borgstrom, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, maybe in the finals, some players were a bit more quiet, Owen Tippett, than we were hoping that they would be. But you look at these point totals, and it's tremendous. The only drop-off comes with the fourth line. And they were better. You know, they improved in the final. So I can't really complain. Defensively, though, I mean, Sergachev and Ekblad, what can you say? They carried the weight. And then again, adding Gilden and Stillman really worked out incredibly well. A 9-18 normally isn't good enough to see a Stanley Cup victory. But thankfully, the offense was able to carry the weight, and we were able to survive this. So again, Buffalo had won 2 cups under, again, essentially who is Bruce Cassidy of the Bruins. And we take him and win the cup the very next year. 2 President's Trophies that we could not turn into success. But this was our year. And again, maybe just the right head coach is all you need. Maybe in this game, the right head coach is all you need to take your team to the promised land. The Florida Panthers are Stanley Cup champions. And like I said, while I would love to see where this team goes, the thing is, we pretty much know where this team's going to go. We're going to continue to be competitive year in and year out. Spencer Knight, he's only 24. He needs to be signed to a deal, but we already know that we're losing Trocheck. We have Ekblad and Sergachev. Ekblad's going to need a new deal, but obviously, like, the young defense core is intact. And then forward-wise, I mean, again, Tippett and Denisenko, Hutsko, basically everyone's going to be able to stay. I mean, I can't imagine once we move on from Trocheck that I wouldn't have the money to be able to afford everyone. I would assume that we would, and even if we didn't, like Heponiemi's an RFA, Tippett and Denisenko are RFAs, so we might lose one top option, but we're still set up so damn well moving forward. I mean, again, defensively, David, who we picked up in the last draft, he's an addition, of course, to that core that we already have. And then when it comes to the prospects, I mean, Antila's only 19. Lowe might not make it, but Spurgeon's there as well. And, of course, whoever else we might be able to pick up along the way. This team is in damn good shape. Damn good shape, one way or another. But I think, again, due to the deadline, the real-life NHL trade deadline passing and those rosters being set, I think, along with myself, I think everyone pretty much wants to see what new journey we could go on. But thankfully, and it doesn't always end like this, we don't always get the Stanley Cup at the end of the journey. Oftentimes a series can end on a Stanley Cup because once you win, it's like, okay, we're done here. Thank you. At the end of the day, we accomplished our goal and we won the Stanley Cup. We bring the cup down to Sunrise. Although you would hope by 2025, maybe the Panthers would have a better arena situation, but probably not. Maybe in Quebec is what a comment will say. And is that comment right or wrong? I don't know. I thank you guys very much for watching and for supporting this series and supporting me. It is greatly appreciated. Check out everything in the description if you haven't already. Drop a like on the video and subscribe, certainly, if you haven't already done so. A shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. And, of course, we'll still have to figure out who a potential channel Hall of Famer is. Let me know down in the comments below who you think should be remembered as the best of the best in this series. And we'll see if anybody's worthy of going into our channel Hall of Fame. But for now, I bid you adieu. The Florida Panthers are Stanley Cup champions.